Did you know that next year we have romance anime about a guy who wants to kill the girl, a love-obsessed pastor, and even a guy with ice powers? Yeah, hang around. I'll tell you more about it. Here's the upcoming romance anime of 2023 you must watch. Let's go. Number 10, the ice guy and his cool female colleague.
よかったらどうぞ。
冬月さん、これは。
ヒゲです。
At first, I thought this guy was called the Ice Guy because of his cold personality, but it turns out that this guy is a supernatural being who actually has ice powers. Then we have this female colleague called Fuyutsuki, who's pretty cool-headed and has logical solutions to all his problems. Now, our guy has a crush on his cool female colleague, but she doesn't even have a damn clue about it. The reason this anime stood out for me is because of the reversal of roles. Usually, Soul anime is about the girl who has a crush on the boy, while the boy is oblivious about it. But here, the sides are switched. Hopefully, this will have a good execution and give us some new tropes, because this is an anime I'm looking forward to a lot. Number 9, Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence.
ご相談ですか？グテー。
You know, sometimes I want an anime that's very relaxing, just in the mood for it. Sometimes it doesn't always have to push the tension and instead give us some nice slice-of-life moments between the main couple. And if you're like me on this, then this show will grab your heart. It's one of the hardest working pastors named Lawrence and one lazy girl called Cecilia. From the looks of the anime, I can tell that this is going to be one of those shows that's going to be very relaxing. It's all about one pastor and one girl living in one calm and quiet village, or so we think. And this is going to be released in April, so you have to wait a couple of months more. But hey, if you're more impatient, you can always read the manga and get even more into this one. Number 8, Dangers in My Heart.
僕は。
It's very rare for romance anime to have a serial killer, but hear me out here, what the heck? Here we have a guy who dreams of murder, and one he wants to kill the most, you guessed it, is the class idol, Anna Yamada. And no, she isn't related to this Yamada, but don't go for the killing. Go see their interactions. The guy here might not have the most wholesome of thoughts, but he is very, very shy, while the girl might be someone who loves to tease the guy. I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's Takagi-san all over again. Now, you should know, I haven't read the source material, but if this is that all over again, I'll gladly accept it. It's not every day that I get to ship a psychopath and a girl who loves to tease that psychopath. Interesting times. Number 7, Sugar Apple Fairy Tale.
妖精は友達になれると思ってるの？
友達。俺はお前に飼われた。刺激されるもん。
Did you know that in this world, sweets are given a very important position? There's even a title called the Silver Sugar Master. There's even a competition called the Sugar Sculptor Festival. And while you may have guessed it, it's all about creating a sculpture made of entirely sugar. Our main character is Anne, who decides to participate in the festival and decides to hire a fairy named Shaw. In this world, fairies are treated with very little respect, and even though this starts off as a master-servant relationship, Anne is always torn between letting Shaw free or making use of him to help reach the Sugar Festival. This seems to be an anime that does the whole master-servant relationship thing right, so keep an eye out for this one. Number 6, Endo and Kobayashi Live, the latest tsundere villainess.
来た来た！リゼたん登場！
これは。
I think you've heard this before. There's an Otomi game, there's a villainess, but surprise, surprise, she's actually good. She loves a guy, the guy realizes, oh my god, this girl is hot, and then falls in love as well. Okay, that last part might be new, but the premise of the show is pretty much like my next life as a villainess. Okay, moving forward. Rather than being something original, this seems like a show with a recycled premise that uses the same old tropes in an interesting way. There seems to be a huge focus on the comedy and fantasy elements, but apart from that, I think a lot of the characters will be following the same arc. But hey, I'll always be waiting for this to surprise me. Number 5, Sacrificial Princess in the King of Beasts.
王様肉球プニプニ！
I knew they were going to turn Beauty and Beast into an anime. Well, this isn't an actual anime adaptation of Beauty and the Beast, but the premise has a similar vibe, elements to it, you could say. Here, we have a king of beasts who asks for a female sacrifice every year. This year's female sacrifice is Serifi, but she's very different from other girls. She has no fear for those beasts. And when the Beast King comes to eat her, she's like, okay, but do you have ketchup? The Beast King is amazed by her boldness, so he makes a decision to spare her and let her wander around the castle. Always a great choice. And from there, you can pretty much guess what happens. Love comes along, then there's an even bigger villain, and the fate of the world is in the couple's hands. This is coming in April. Number 4, Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible.
おはよ
おは
う
ってもう寝てる。
Remember how the anime Dangers in My Heart is all about teasing? Well, this anime is even more teasing. Here we have a high school student named Junta who wants to lead a successful high school life, but the problem is no one notices him. Even when he sits in the class, everyone thinks he's non-existent. The only person who cares about him is this girl called Kuba. But Kuba is your average girl who likes to tease. So since our guy is ignored by the other students, Kuba always finds it easier to tease him about that and more. This seems like another copy of Teasing Master Tagagi-san, with some new tropes there thrown in elements to make sure this is a go for you. Don't expect any girls to tease your invisible self though. Number 3, Tomo-chan is a girl.
何ドキドキしてんのにバカみたいじゃねえかやめろっつってんだろうが
Finally, it seems we have a tomboy anime. Anime has a ton of tomboy girls, but only a few of them focus on the romance of a tomboy and an average-looking guy. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about this manga, and the situation of a couple here is very interesting in the story. We've got a tomboy girl and a guy who have been BFFs for a long, long time, but then the guy gets a crush on the tomboy, and he's afraid to confess to her because he's afraid the relationship would be ruined. If you love some romance between a tomboy and a regular boy, give this one a go. It'll probably be one of the sleeper hits of the year. Number 2, A Galaxy Next Door.
チーペン刺さってる。危ない。
Hey, what do you know? Sometimes drawing manga can help you be married in real life. Here we have a guy named Ichiro Kuga who draws manga for a living, but after his father's death, he finds it hard to do the job and maintain his family at the same time. Along comes a girl named Shirori who's both beautiful and talented, but then things turn upside down when she proposes to him and asks to be married. And as you can tell, the guy's first reaction is like, what? But the more they grow closer, the more he falls in love. This is also an adapted story from a manga, and this is getting released in spring, so if you're impatient, make sure to go read the manga first. Number 1, The Angel Next Door spoils me
な
rotten.
んたって天使様だからな。というかお隣には天使様が住んでいるのだ。
This is one of the most hyped up romance animes of the year, and the good news is that it's releasing this winter. That's right, wait for one more week and you can start watching this anime, you impatient bastards. Just like the title says about a girl who looks like an angel, spoiling a guy by doing all of his work. Wait, let me explain it better. This guy's apartment looks like hell, and he's also suffering from a bad flu. So when he helps out a girl named Mahiru, she decides to help him back by doing the daily chores. At least that's how it starts. Don't want to spoil it all. There's a lot of hype around this anime, so I'm really looking forward to see you catch up with it and see how this all goes over. So keep your winter calendars free, watch this anime because you'll never have an angel like this in your life.